All right, strap in, everyone. We're going deep on Islamic financial planning in Brunei today.
Oh, yeah?
We've got a stack of research to dig through,
Yeah.
including ACMD Hasnal Alwi, PGMD Salah's PhD thesis.
Oh, wow.
So, are you ready to discover how Islamic finance can be a tool for, well, everyone?
Absolutely.
Especially for those, facing some financial hurdles.
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic. It's got a surprising amount of depth to it.
Oh, for sure.
The way Saleh connects those traditional Islamic institutions like
Right.
zakat and Aqaf to modern financial planning, it's really insightful.
See, that's what always gets me. Like, I get the basics,
Mm-hmm.
no interest, avoiding excessive risk.
Right.
But how does that actually play out
Yeah,
in
yeah.
real life?
Yeah.
Especially for people struggling financially.
Well, that's where the research gets really interesting.
Okay.
It starts with this classic three-tiered financial planning model:
Okay.
money management, emergency planning, and investing for goals. Kind of like, building a house.
Okay.
You need a solid foundation.
Mhm.
You got to have that safety net, in case a storm comes along.
Right.
And then you can start focusing on all the design elements, all the things that really make it your dream home.
Okay. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
But we're talking Islamic finance here.
All right.
So where do things like, avoiding interest and gambling and all that,
Yeah.
where does that fit into the house metaphor?
Well, it's about making sure that every brick,
Okay.
every beam
Mhm.
in that financial house
Right.
is compliant with Sharia principles.
Okay.
So instead of a traditional savings account,
Uh-huh.
that might earn interest,
Right.
you'd be looking at Sharia compliant investment funds.
So it's not just about avoiding certain things.
Yeah.
It's about finding those alternatives
Mhm.
that are aligned with Islamic values.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about that foundation,
Okay.
the money management piece.
Yeah.
How does that look different through an Islamic lens?
Mhm.
I mean, budgeting's budgeting, right?
Yeah, I mean, the core principles are the same.
Right.
Tracking your income, tracking your expenses.
Mhm.
But it's about applying those principles
Okay.
with an awareness of, halal income and expenses.
Okay.
So, for example, prioritizing needs over wants.
Uh-huh.
That takes on a whole new dimension
Okay.
when you factor in the concept of zakat,
Okay.
that obligatory almsgiving.
Now, zakat is where things get really interesting for me.
Yeah.
It's always been described as this pillar of Islam, a way to give back, help those in need.
Right.
But Salah research, it really dives into its potential as
Yes.
like a wealth management tool,
Exactly.
which honestly, I'd never even considered before.
And there's a lot of debate right now
Oh, really?
about how zakat applies to modern assets.
Okay.
Things like stocks, retirement funds. It's really pushing Islamic scholars
Interesting.
and financial experts to kind of rethink
Mhm.
those traditional interpretations. I mean, imagine the impact if even a small portion of those assets were
Right.
channeled into things like poverty alleviation or microfinance initiative.
Wow, that's a whole new level of thinking about zakat.
Yeah.
It's not just a charitable donation.
Right.
It's like a potential driver of
Yeah.
economic empowerment.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fascinating. But Salih's research also looks at financial exclusion in Brunei specifically, right?
Yes.
And isn't Brunei considered a wealthy nation?
It is, but
So how prevalent is this issue there?
well, that's a common misconception.
Okay.
Brunei's overall wealth kind of masks the reality that a lot of people face.
Okay.
Especially lower income individuals
Right.
and what they call net deficit households.
Yeah,
Basically, those whose expenses are higher than their income.
Yeah. Got it.
They're often excluded from mainstream financial services
Right.
because of things like, minimum deposit requirements
Oh.
or lack of credit history.
So even in a country like Brunei,
Yeah,
people are struggling
yeah,
to access basic financial tools.
absolutely.
That's where those semi-structured interviews with welfare recipients in the thesis really hit home, didn't they?
They did, yeah. Those personal accounts are really critical.
Yeah.
One interviewee mentioned how difficult it was just to open a bank account
Wow.
because of those minimum deposit requirements.
Jeez.
They ended up relying on, informal money lenders
Oh no.
with these crazy high interest rates,
Oh man.
which of course just makes their financial situation even worse.
That's It's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Like you realize how easily people can get trapped
Mm-hmm.
in a system that's not really built to support them.
Exactly. And that's what makes this research so important. It really highlights the need for a financial system that works for everybody,
Yeah,
not just, the privileged few.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that brings us to a critical question.
Okay.
What can be done to make Islamic financial planning truly inclusive?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are some of the solutions that
Yeah.
that Salah proposes in the research?